1, 3, 4.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Put Your Makeup On. Today I am going to be doing a different type of video and sharing with you what is in my Sephora brush belt. And if you want to know, you know what to do. This is how we do it on Put Your Makeup On, so just keep watching. Before we dive into today's video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Put Your Makeup On, so you don't miss out on any videos, and the little notification bell as well, so of course you get notified whenever I post a video. It's like the new hot thing to do. Why not? Okay, so I'm really cheesy. That's how we're doing it. We are going to be diving into my Sephora brush belt, and I have this because I had to go to some meetings in the city, which is why I have it at home. Normally, obviously, this brush belt is Sephora's and it stays in the store in my little cubby where it says my name on it, but I thought this was a very interesting video for me to film. I've kind of always wanted to film a video like this. I really truly love Sephora collection brushes. I have had the same brush belt for 4 years now. I am going to be at Sephora this August, 4-year anniversary. I know, very exciting. I love it. It feels like I'm not working. It feels like 4 years has flew by. If you guys also maybe want to see a video on maybe how to get hired at Sephora or what it's like working at Sephora, I'll totally film one for you. Let me know in the comments down below. This is my brush belt. It does have my little name on it, and I really do love this belt. It is pretty heavy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it does sit literally, I would say, a little bit lower than my belly button. I wear it kind of like an apron type of brush belt. So this is basically what it looks like with the little flap here and the little Velcro system, a couple pockets I'll get into in a second, and then in the back. The back I do hold our little Sephora sample baggies, so I just hold them so that way I could just whip it out whenever a client wants a sample. I'm ready and prepared. And then I do have also our, I mean, these are supposed to stay in the store, but whoopsie, my bad. I do carry our Sephora little like beauty class cards. Since I am a facilitator at Sephora, I do hold these in my brush belt, and then I do have also the cards as well for mini makeovers and customized makeovers, so that way when the client's shopping around, pop it in their basket if, you know, if and when I'm assisting them, that way they get rung up properly. So I do hold these, and I do also hold our little cards as well, our little face charts. So that's basically what that is if I need to like write anything down for the client to remember. I also have a little fan as well. I did get this from Daiso in San Francisco when I was being certified to teach the classes, and I use this when I'm physically applying lashes to a client, because I obviously can't blow on the lashes for the glue to get tacky, because obviously for hygiene reasons. So I'm there holding the lash, fanning it for the client like so. So I like to have one with me at all times. Or if I'm getting a hot flash in the store because it gets really hot out, I'll whip it out, spray some Caudalie elixir on me, and I'm just there. I'll be like, hi, do you need assistance? So that's my life. I do also have a little palette, mixing palette. Makeup Forever gave it to us. Sometimes I like to use this. Sometimes, you know, if I'm just quick trying to try something on a client, I'll just use my hand. During a CM, I like to use this, just, you know, for hygiene reasons, of course. So I like to stay as hygienic as possible. And then I do also have a list, just for my personal sake, a list of all the classes that we offer. There's about 13 different classes that Sephora offers, and I basically teach all of them. So if you guys maybe want to know more about Sephora classes, Sephora types of you know, services, I will have everything linked down below for you guys, because I am a walking Susie Sephora, as they say. So let's get into the brushes. That was the boring part. Let's get into the fun stuff. I do also have pens and markers. That's fun, right? I am very, very specific with how I hold and place my brushes in this brush belt. If you hand me my brush and you put it back, be like, no, hand it to me and I will put it back. That's just how I am. That sounds really bitchy of me, but I can't help it. Let's get into some of the eye brushes that I will talk about first. Basically all of these and then all of the face brushes. And I do use about 90% of these brushes on my CMs. Let's get into the eye brushes. So number one of them being the number, oh god, this is like all worn off. Oh god, this is terrible. Number 12. So this is the number 12 brush from Sephora collection, and I really like and enjoy using this to use this with a setting type of powder to set primer with. Nice and flat, gets the job done really quickly, and it is a fantastic brush to use all around. I'm always a big lover, and I appreciate a good, you know, flat brush like so. So number 12 is also fantastic. Another brush that I really do enjoy is the number 19 brush, and mine is a little wonky looking because I use it so often. This is your classic tapered crease brush. Gets the job done in the crease area, nice and fluffy, no matter what blending shadow transition color I'm using. This brush, number 19, is phenomenal. My best friend, and I legit mean best friend, is the number 27 brush, which is this guy right here. I physically cannot do makeup on clients without this brush. That's how important it is to me on every and any eye shape, older skin, younger skin, whatever eye shape you have going on, wrinkles, I don't care. This brush will do everything for you. I love it to the moon and back. Number 27. If you guys don't have this brush, you need it in your life, like right now. You need to go on Sephora.com and buy this brush. Enough about that. Okay. And I also do have a Bullet Crease brush. This is our number 86 brush. I really enjoy this brush for the outer corner work, especially when I'm doing a more smoky eye on a client. It just makes my life so much easier. It deposits color really nicely, nice and soft, and it does have a good amount of flexibility to it to blend out a little bit, but again, it deposits the color beautifully. 86 is fantastic, again, for a smoky type of look. Really also love the number 15 brush. This is a nice flat shader brush, which is, I feel like, the baby sister to the number 12. You guys can see the size difference here. So this one's nice and, you know, large and in charge. This one's small and petite. So I do like using this for a multitude of reasons. You could do lower lash line work. You could do in the corner. You could do the brow bone area. Even my clients who who are like real true beginners, I even like to say to them, the only two blending eyeshadow brushes you'll ever need in your entire life is a blending brush and a lid brush, and I stand by that every day of my life. For more detailed type of work, I like to use our number 11, which is called our Smudge Brush for the lower lash line. This one is definitely more densely packed, and again, I like to do this on the outer corner, a little bit in the inner corner, as well as the tear duct if I'm putting some sparkle effect in there on a client. Even to clean up around the lip area, I'll do this brush as well. Nice handy brush. I like the number 13 brush. This is on a small size as well. You guys could see there. Fantastic, again, for the lower lash line as it falls out of my hand. I like to use this also to clean up the lip area and like any like little detailed work. I love it. Who here likes to do brows with like an Anastasia dip brow pomade situation or something in like the NYX pomade where you gotta squeeze it out? You're gonna need a brush to do that with, and I really do enjoy this one, our number 20 brush, which does have the spoolie on the other side, which is important, and then the nice, you know, angled tip, which is basically what this looks like. Nice and sharp, and it gives really fantastic precision. So number 20 is really, really good. I also do have a pointed brow brush, which looks like that. If you are doing any type of concealer work around the brow area, it fits around the brow perfectly to really carve everything out. Really do enjoy this, and again, clean up that lip area nicely. So number 35, I feel if you're more of a advanced in your skills, I would definitely recommend this type of brush. Fantastic. Number 84, Pro Angled Lip Brush in my brush belt as well for the lip area, and I basically use that basically for what it says, so it's a good brush to have, I think, in general. And then I have two eye brushes. I have the angled liner, which is our number 22 brush, which basically is just a regular traditional angled liner, especially if I'm doing a client who wants maybe gel or just to kind of clean up that liner just in general. It's a really nice brush to have. I feel like that's definitely an essential brush. And then the tapered liner brush, number 33. This one, if I'm doing more work, I would say like either the upper part of the lid or like in the inner corner. You could do a lot with this brush. I mean, smaller the better, I feel. Again, nice and detailed. And then I do have two brushes here that I like to use for concealer. I like the number 31 brush. This is technically a smoky crease brush, which is on the smaller side. I'm not really a fan of this brush for the crease area, but I like it to blend in any type of like corrector under my client's eye, or if I'm doing some sort of like green corrector in like any areas around the face, I like to use this brush. And then for concealer, I'll use the 57. I stinkin' love this brush. It is very, very handy to have. I just love the way it, for some reason, I just like the way it looks in the hand. Like it's just nice to use. Oh, I love that brush so much. And also too, I wanted to quickly mention, if you guys are not familiar with Sephora collection brushes, they are all handmade. They all do have a weighted handle to them. The ferrule is really nice and sturdy. I feel with Sephora brushes, because obviously they're not the cheapest of brushes on the market, they are made to last up to about 10 years plus. As long as you clean them and take care of them, these brushes, I definitely feel 1000% they are worth the investment. So let's get into the brushes, the big guys, the big cojones, because they are definitely large and in charge. I do carry two different foundation brushes in my brush belt, and I do like the number 47 brush, which is flat. I always like to recommend to clients, let the brushes do the work for you and you will thank me in the long run, because this brush does all the work for me. It's flat, so it gets the job done very easily. Curved as well to fit the curvature around the brow really nicely. Pointed, so for the nose area, really fantastic brush. I just love it in general, and I use it probably about 80% of the time when I'm doing makeup on clients. And then the other brush that I have is the number 56 brush, and I strongly recommend this type of brush as well. This is a really nice one, not too insanely densely packed, so it's gonna pick up and blend out a good amount of product without it applying too much of the product. You can really buff this guy in really easily without getting brush marks, and I love these. Three different technically powder brushes, but I use them for all different reasons. I really, really love the number 55 brush, which is, again, nice and fluffy, and I love applying bronzer with this brush. I even have it for my personal use, a separate brush together, and I use it a lot. It just blends everything so seamlessly. So this brush is beautiful for bronzer. And then another brush I also have is the Precision Powder Brush. Exactly how the name suggests, I like this to apply powder on my clients. This one is really densely packed as well. I mean, you guys could see, you know, like right here, how dense this brush is. But every time with any powder I use, whether it's Hourglass or Bare Minerals or Makeup Forever or NARS, it always picks up the perfect amount of product to blend everything out so perfectly. I love this brush. And then the newer brush that I have to this collection, which one of my managers put in my brush belt the other day, so thank you. And this is the number 50. This is the Flawless Light Powder Brush. And again, large and in charge as well. This brush is super, super soft. Ugh. I could just sit here all day long and pet this brush. So I like using this brush when I'm all done applying bronzer, blush, and highlight on my clients. I like to go back in with this brush just to make sure everything is properly blended. The last thing I want is for a client to walk out with harsh lines on their face. I mean, obviously, as a makeup artist, that's not what we're going for. So this is like my savior, just to make and double check that everything is perfectly blended. And I really do love this brush. The shape of it is just so beautiful. Oh, I love it. I really do enjoy the number 49, and this is an angled brush. I really enjoy angled brushes because they fit the curvature of the cheek perfectly. I feel like this brush just deposits everything perfectly, whether I'm using a really strong pigmented like black up blush or a really light, the Tarte Amazonian clay blushes in those cheek areas, starting off on the outer corner of the eye, blending back, and then just kind of going in circle motions. This brush is perfect. 49 is amazing. And then I also have a powder contouring brush, which is this guy right here. Again, this is another brush that I have for my personal use. This is the number 79. And I have to say, this is probably my favorite contouring brush of my entire life. I love something that's pointed. This is what we like to call a tulip shaped brush. I don't know if anyone really says that anymore, but I call it a tulip brush. And it just fits so perfectly in those contour areas, especially if I'm using a contour kit from, like, say, Anastasia or whatever. I also do like using this brush for setting powder under my clients' eyes to set concealer. And it just gets the job done very efficiently, very quickly, and I love it. And then I also do have, this is a brush I very rarely use, but when the time calls for, I'm happy that I have it in my brush belt. This is the number 99. This is the Sculpting Blush Brush, which looks like this. It's it's pinched at the ferrule, but it's also nice and flat. So I feel for blush, just kind of applying it that way. I really don't use it that often, but again, when the time calls for it, I'm happy that I have it again in my brush belt. And then I also do have, I feel like this is a little excessive, but I have 3 highlighter brushes. I know this is excessive, but for clients who maybe don't want a very intense highlight, who maybe just want a very light type of highlight, I have a brush for that. This is the number 98 brush. I think I also do have this in my personal collection as well, and it just deposits the highlight so perfectly. It just picks up a good amount of product, very soft, and it's just a really nice shape as well. Number 98 again. I also do have a classic fan brush, which is, you know, again, just to deposit the color really easily. You can either use it on its side or like on this side, depending on what the highlighter it is that you're using. I think a classic fan brush is definitely essential for every makeup artist to have in general. I feel that's just like common sense, that's a given. And then the number 93 brush, and this literally looks like a squirrel's tail, but for my clients who maybe don't want to be a highlight goddess and just want that ever so light angelic glow from within, I'll use this brush. It just picks up a very light amount of powder on those high cheekbones. I sometimes actually like this, using it for very light type of blush. So that's that. And then the only other brush I have is this guy. I very rarely use it. I kind of want to use it more often. This is the number 53 brush. We can kind of just go up and down with your foundation, get the job done very easily. Or for contouring also, rock that in the socket back and forth. And then the only other products that I have in my, well, aside from my brushes, are the Beauty Blenders. And Beauty Blender, the brand, was nice enough to give all Sephora employees, you know, 4 different Beauty Blenders, so that's cool. So yeah, so that is basically what is in my brush belt. I apologize if this was a rather long video, but I feel like these types of videos, because I have so much information to give, they're a little bit longer. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about my brush belt whatsoever, leave your comments down below. And again, any questions or anything Sephora related, I'm happy to answer for you. So I think that's all I have to say for this video. Don't forget to subscribe for brand new videos on my channel. And I shall see you in the next episode of Put Your Makeup On. Have a great day, guys. Bye!